Going on, guys? My name is Taylor Stuber, and I'm here to break down this 4-game NBA main slate on Draftkings Fanduel. Of course, the sponsor of the video. It is Martin Luther King Day, so this is one of the best NBA days overall. In this video, I'm just going to be speaking on the main slate, but there's going to be games starting throughout the game, starting at 11 a.m. Central Time. But if you guys are wanting to play the slates and get more of my info on the earlier games, make sure to join the Discord. The link is below. I'm going to be playing all day, these showdowns, the early slates. So if you guys want my opinion on that, make sure to go come join that Discord. It's completely free. My game notes, my cheat sheets, my FanDuel lineups will be in there for completely free as well. You can ask me questions all day long, so that's the best benefit of joining that. And if you guys could really help me out, the best possible way to pay me back, not that you need to or anything, but it's to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. If you found your way onto this video and you find this helpful, I would really appreciate if you could do that, as well as liking the video and commenting. Let's aim to get some pretty high numbers on there. That really helps out my algorithm. But let's just jump right into the slate. And of course, guys, I will be live streaming an hour before lock at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, going over the slate more extensively with more news, because there's a bunch of news that we're waiting for on the slate, and I will answer as many questions as I possibly can. Tend to get to every single one, so make sure to do that. That's one of the biggest benefits to joining my live stream. But we'll start with the Milwaukee Bucks at the Brooklyn Nets. By far the largest over-under on the slate at 237.5. The Bucks are 2-point favorites. So we'll start with the Bucks. I mean, there's really not much to say about the Bucks. When they are in competitive games, this year more than ever, they're playing larger minutes. So we're seeing 36 to 38 minutes from Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday in competitive games. We're getting like 30 to 32 minutes from Brook Lopez. Dante DiVincenzo, Bobby Portis should both play 20 to 25 minutes. But I'm really focusing on those top three guys. If you are going to game stack this, Giannis's price at 10.4K is just incredibly too low. He dealt with some foul trouble last game, but he's going to play 36 to 38 minutes. Like I mentioned, he averages over at 1.6 fantasy points per minute. Absolutely love him at this price point. And then Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, I think they're fine cash game plays, but they're priced to a point where they don't really have all that much upside. Really focusing on Giannis from that team. I don't mind Brook Lopez as well. Over the course of his career, he's about a fantasy point per minute player. We saw him play 34 minutes last time out, so I don't mind him either. But the Nets, this is where it gets interesting. Kyrie Irving is questionable. I lean towards him not playing this game, so it's just going to be the James Harden and Kevin Durant show for the Brooklyn Nets. And if you watch the game against Orlando Magic when James Harden debuted for the Nets, it was insane. James Harden in his first game had a 44.4% usage rating, 53.8 assist percentage, and they said that they were going to monitor his minutes. He ended up playing 40 minutes, and so did Kevin Durant. It's really just these two guys running the entire offense, and they're playing big minutes. And if they want to stay competitive with the Bucks, they're going to have to play big minutes again. Both of them are definitely fine plays in cash games and GPP. Obviously, the upside's through the roof. James Harden scored nearly 80 fantasy points in his first game with the Nets. And then DeAndre Jordan, he's 4.8K, but they're going to need his size. There's no Jared Allen on this team anymore, so he's really their only true center. Now, Jeff Green and Kevin Durant will get some time at the 5, but he's their really only main or big center for this team. And the Milwaukee Bucks are one of the biggest teams in the league, so expect some extended minutes from DeAndre Jordan. If he could play 28, 30 minutes, I would absolutely love him at 4.8K, averages 0.96 fantasy points per minute, and he has upside of playing more minutes. So the guys that I'm focusing on this team is Harden, Durant, and DeAndre Jordan. Move over to the Dallas Mavericks at the Toronto Raptors at 219.5 over-under. Raptors are currently 3.5-point favorites. So, Mavericks, one of these teams that have been dealing with just a plethora of these COVID contact tracing and all these guys being out for a while. But Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell are all already ruled out. Tim Hardaway Jr. is questionable. He missed the last game. Josh Green ended up starting in his place. Played 32 minutes, but put up sub-10 fantasy points. And then Jalen Brunson missed yesterday's game, but he's going to be returning this game. So if Tim Hardaway Jr. misses again, expect Jalen Brunson to receive an expanded role and extended minutes. Maybe in that 30 to 32 minute range would become one of the best value plays on the slate at just $4,000 on DraftKings. And then Kristaps Porzingis, He played 33 minutes yesterday. It is a second leg of a back-to-back. He's coming back from injury, has only played 3 games, but yeah, 33 minutes. That's by far the most he's played this year. So I would not be the slightest bit surprised if he ended up sitting this game, which would open up things even more for the rest of these guys. And then Luka Doncic, $11,000 is honestly probably too cheap for him at this point this year. He has a 37.5% usage rating, 15.7 total rebound percentage, 50.5 assist percentage, averaging 1.67 fantasy points per minute. Now, if you could get up to Luka Doncic at 11,000, I absolutely love him. But if you're 600 short and you need to play Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm more than fine with doing that. Those are my two favorite spend-up options in cash games. But we really need to monitor the situation of Tim Hardaway Jr. and potentially Kristaps Porzingis. Now, on the Toronto Raptors side, Alex Len is out. Siakam, Van Fleet, Lowry, OG Anunoby, you get the deal. These guys are all going to play 36 to 40 minutes in competitive games. But Nick Nurse, he just absolutely refuses to start Chris Boucher at the beginning of the games. But eventually he succumbs to the fantasy greatness and just the pure greatness of Chris Boucher and starts him in the second half and ends up closing the game with him playing 30-plus minutes. And, if that's going to continue, even if he's coming off the bench, that doesn't scare me at all. I keep playing him off of the bench, even at these prices, and it keeps paying off for me. Because he's going to end up playing 30-plus minutes regardless of the situation. He's a 21.1% usage rating, 15.8 total rebound percentage, averaging 1.38 fantasy points per minute. 7.1K is still too cheap for Chris Boucher. And then the rest of the Raptors guys, like I mentioned, the guys that are playing 36-plus minutes, I think are more than fine. Move over to the Houston Rockets at the Chicago Bulls, a 228 over-under. Bulls are 1-point favorites coming off a pretty good game against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. It was exciting to watch Luka go off like that. But with the Rockets, John Wall, Dante Exum, they are out. Sterling Brown is questionable. So we should see DeMarcus Cousins this game. They're going to become a lot healthier this game. Eric Gordon should be returning. And he's honestly too cheap at 5.2K. Should play 30-plus minutes because they've been playing some pretty poor players lately just because of how thin they've been. But they're getting healthier now. Victor Oladipo is going to be making his debut for the Houston Rockets at 7.5K. Maybe not in cash games, but in GVP, I think that the upside is kind of through the roof for him. They don't have a point guard right now, so he's going to be running point whenever he's out there on the court running the offense. I think he could immediately come into a role where he's playing 36-38 minutes without John Wall out there. And I think that he's going to lead the team in usage, lead the team in assist percentage, should play big minutes like I mentioned. So I don't mind him. He's one of the sneakier GVP plays for him. And then Christian Wood, I think he's priced up a bit too much. I doubt we see any minutes of him next to DeMarcus Cousins. So it kind of limits the upside of Cousins. And then Christian Wood should probably play 34-36 minutes. 8.9K. I guess in this matchup against the Chicago Bulls, he can get it done for sure. But with Oladipo being back and Eric Gordon being back, I don't think he's going to be leaned on as heavily as he was in the previous games. Now on the Chicago Bulls side, so this team is definitely getting much healthier. Tomas Satoransky is questionable. The last couple of games we've gotten Larry Markkinen back, Ryan Arcidiacono back. So with this team being much healthier, the minutes are being spread out a lot more. Zach LaVine, Kobe White, I don't think they're going to be needed to play around that 40-minute mark like they were, especially if Satoransky comes back, because Ryan Arcidiacono was already eating into their minutes in his recent return. But I do think that Larry Markkinen's price on FanDuel is a bit too cheap. I believe he's like 6.1K. We'll actually check that out right now. 6.1K. I think that's a bit too cheap for Larry Markkinen. Move over to the last game of the slate. The Golden State Warriors at the Los Angeles Lakers. A 226.5 over under. Lakers are 8.5 point favorites. So the Warriors, they're healthy. Marquise Chris is out. That's really the only injury they're dealing with right now. James Wiseman, his minutes were taking a hit lately, but it looks like they're on the rise right now, playing about 26 minutes per game. Don't mind him in GPPs at 4.6K. Does take up a center spot. But Steph Curry is really the one of the two guys I really want to talk about on this team. 31.2% usage rating, 8.3 total rebound percentage, 32.2 assist percentage, averaging 1.39 fantasy points per minute. So his peripherals are really down this year. And whenever he's scoring 30-plus real points and the games are competitive, he's mostly obliterating this price tag. But in cash games, his peripherals are just so down this year that if he's not shooting well and he's not scoring real life fantasy points, he's shitting the bed. So in cash games, I'm staying far, far away from Steph and Curry. But if they do want to stay competitive against this Lakers team, who are probably the best team in the league right now, he's going to be needed, heavily leaned on offensively. So in GBPs, I think he's fine. I would make sure to run it back with some Lakers, the studs as well. But cash games, I'm staying away from Steph Curry. But Draymond Green, he dealt with some foul trouble last time, but it looks like he's playing 32 plus minutes per game in competitive games. 5.2K is just entirely too cheap for him. I'm going to be getting to a lot of Draymond Green, especially in cash games. And then the Los Angeles Lakers, I mean, they're healthy. Caldwell Pope and Matthews, they're expected to play. Anthony Davis is probable. LeBron James is questionable, but I'm pretty sure he's been questionable every single game this year, but he continues to play. But these price tags are just embarrassing. Golden State has one of the worst defense in the league. Lakers have one of the highest implied team totals on the slate. 9.3K, 9.7K are really, really bad price tags. The recent blowouts all year for the Lakers have been baked into this price, because whenever the games are competitive, they're playing around 36 minutes per game. LeBron James, a 32.4% use rating, 13.6 total rebound percentage, 37.2 assist percentage, averaging 1.49 fantasy points per minute. Yeah, this is the same exact situation we were seeing last year, and we were paying upwards of 11K for LeBron James. Now we get a major discount. And then Anthony Davis down to 9.3K. We were paying upwards of 11K for him last year as well, and he's down 1,700. So if this game does stay competitive, I might want to run it back with Steph Curry. But regardless, in cash games, even if they don't play those 36 minutes, it's so easy for them to pay off these price tags because they are so discounted, and they're going to be criminally underowned. I say it every video that the Lakers on the slate. They are very, very good plays at these price points, and just nobody's going to play them. So I'm going to be all over them. And the ancillary pieces for this team just really aren't that enticing for me, just because they are so top heavy when it comes to offensive production. So I'm going to stick with Anthony Davis and LeBron James from the Lakers. But man, we got through this video in just 12 minutes. If you guys want some more information, more extended content from me, make sure to join that Discord. It is linked below. And if you found this video useful at all, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment below with your favorite play of the day. That really, really helps me out. If you guys have any questions, also comment below. I'll make sure to reply to you and get you going. So best of luck today. Appreciate you guys' viewership. And until next time, peace.